So you want to have an out-of-body experience. Well, it's not as simple as just wanting one. There are things you have to understand, things you need to be aware of, and most importantly, an attitude you need to embody. From listening to multiple testimonials of people who have actually left their bodies, I've gathered some knowledge that might help others do the same. I haven't had a personal out-of-body experience yet, but I've studied enough accounts to see the patterns, and I want to share what I know because maybe it will help you. Before we get into fear, excitement, and the process itself, the first thing you need to understand is this. You must have control over your emotions. That means not letting your excitement, anxiety, or fear stimulate your heart and trigger an increase in your heart rate.
It's fear all the time. I would say 99% of the time it's fear. And if it's not fear, then it's when they actually leave the body, they get too excited and they're like, oh crap, I'm actually out. And then it's sucked right back in.
It's like you need a poker heart. A poker face keeps the outer appearance calm, even if the person is stirred inside, but for an out-of-body experience, you need to keep the heart itself unbothered. You can't let it get excited in any way. That means if you see something you don't understand, you don't let fear rise up. If you feel nervous, you don't let anxiety take over. And even if you start seeing results, you don't get overly excited, because that excitement alone can snap you right back into your body. You need to go in with the mindset of, I'm not impressed. This is no big deal. Just another walk in the park. Act like you're too cool. Be disinterested. With that disinterested gunslinger attitude, the first nonchalant fear you're going to need to care less about is the fear of death. You will not die. You will come back.
You have to get rid of the fear of death, like first and foremost. Like you have to be in these experiences, as you would know in sleep paralysis. Could be incredibly scary for people to experience that. Now, in order to leave and not wake up the body, you need to get into a space where you say to yourself, I'm okay with dying, even though you're not going to die. You just have to be that calm all the time. And that's a hard one for people to break.
The next is the fear of encountering a being you don't recognize. Whether you feel fear or excitement, both can pull you out of the moment. That being is probably there to help you. They may even be close to you. You just don't recognize them yet. Once you've mastered keeping your heart rate unbothered, and you can push past both fear and excitement, you can embrace the attitude that says, I don't care when this happens. I'll be ready, whether it's today or a year from now. Once you're in the right headspace, then it's time to lay down, completely relaxed and free. When you lay down, do so on your back in a comfortable position, with no noise, no music, and no distractions. No fan blowing on your arm to pull at your awareness. Focus on your breathing, adding long, heavy sighs, decompressing your body more with each breath until you are as relaxed as possible. As you do this, you'll start to feel a heaviness, like someone has placed a lead blanket over you. Your body temperature will rise, and you may feel overheated, which is why the thickness and placement of your blanket matters. Through this discomfort, remember, nothing is going to happen to your body. It will be fine. Ignore its requests to itch, to move, to reposition. Detach your mind from your body and give it no leverage to influence you.
When you're going to sleep every single night, sleep on your back, but stay consciously awake the entire time. Don't try to force being conscious, because then you're just going to stay awake. If you're like, okay, I'm consciously awake, I'm not going to fall asleep, there's too much energy there, and you're not allowing the body to go to sleep. So you allow the natural cycles of your sleep to just kick in. Just go to sleep, but try to stay conscious the entire time.
Darius explains that the trick is to not stay too consciously aware while staying consciously aware. That can sound confusing. Think of it like this. Have you ever been so tired you could barely keep your eyes open, but you weren't somewhere you could actually sleep? You drift toward sleep, then pop back to awareness for a moment, over and over. That yo-yo effect, drifting off then surfacing, is what you're aiming for. You let the brain relax enough to start sleeping, but keep a flicker of awareness spiking back up occasionally. With luck, one of those spikes will be the moment you detach. When separation begins, it can feel like you're dying. The heaviness, the heat, the disconnection, even a sucking sensation. You might feel like you're moving, rising up, sliding, or floating. You may hear a rushing wind in your ears like a wind tunnel, or even a popping sensation. At first, it will still feel like you're in your body, until you look back and see yourself lying in bed. Then you'll know you've separated.
When you do it for the first time, it's a shock, it's a rush. It's like when you leave the body and you're actually leaving your body and you turn around and you see yourself sleeping on the bed again and you look at
Mm.
yourself and you're still physical. It's a big rush, and typically it's fear, anxiety, or just, "Holy shit, I've done it." Those, high-end emotions that you feel, if it's when you just leave, if you have a lot of anxiety, excitement, just when you leave the body, you get sucked back in because it
Yeah.
wakes the body back up. So
Mm.
it's like you have to learn how to control those emotions when you're coming out, because when you create like a distance within the body, like when you're out and then you create distance and then you're out for, let's say, 30 seconds. At
Yep.
that point, you could do whatever you want. You won't get pulled back in because there still is a slight magnetic pull back to the body as you're just coming out. If you mess
Yeah.
things up, you just get sucked back in as well. So
In the beginning, the initial excitement of disconnecting usually pulls you right back in. So if you do separate, create distance immediately. Leave your room, settle yourself, and then you're free to explore. At first, you might only access Realm 1, but with practice, you'll gain more range. Like riding a bike, it becomes easier each time. So get into the right mentality, that screw it mindset, and go in knowing nothing can hurt you. Go with intention, stay calm, and keep your heart rate steady. Don't get frustrated and don't try to rush it. It might take time to build the discipline to lay still long enough to feel the heaviness, the rising body temperature, or the subtle shifts that signal you're getting close. But keep at it. Every attempt brings you closer.
when you're starting with an out of body, there's always two type of people, right? The people that experience sleep paralysis naturally is going to be the easiest person to teach this to, because you're already entering one of the hardest parts to get to when you
Yeah.
have to do it controlled. Now, I'm going to explain for that person. If you're in sleep paralysis, all right, you already know the sensations. You can't breathe, talk, move. And typically, when you're there, right, this is what I would do. I would either try to move my fingers or my toes, right, to wake myself up. And I know a lot of people could relate to that. But they do that because they're in the state of anxiety and panic, right? But if you don't move anything, stay with it. You'll notice if you stay with it and you just are calm and get rid of the fear of, "Oh, I'm going to die," because you're not going to die. And I'm giving you that reassurance. If you just get rid of that particular fear that you have, you will start to feel sensations within the body, ringing in the ears, buzzing throughout the entire body. And if you are calm through that process, you will start to feel a shift within your body. That this is the soul starting to shift, like exit. Yeah. So that could be like a tilt to the side or anything. You'll feel the soul start to come out or disconnect from the body. At that point, you don't necessarily want to just sit there and be passive, right? Because there still is a pull. There's this magnetic pull. At that point, when you feel that, you want to try to, I just roll out anymore. So I just roll out onto the floor, right? And at that point, you'll hear like this popping sensation. You'll hear wind, like a loud, like there's so many different, it's hard to explain all the tones, but you will feel and hear the disconnect, right? When you do that. And when you come out, as soon as you come out, it's going to feel, especially if you're rolling out, it's going to feel like your physical body just rolled out of the bed. And you're going to think, "Oh, I just fell on the floor." But if you stand up from that point and you look on the bed, you'll notice that your physical body's still sleeping on the bed. And you can look at your hands and you'll see that you are in your soul and it is more physical, more dense than your physical body. This is the part where people are at this point immediately. Anxiety or fear sucked right back in the body. What I recommend, if you look back at your body, just walk out the bedroom, right? Create the distance. If you walk out your body, like I said before in the beginning of this, give it around like 30 seconds or so. Come back in the room when you're calm. and you can actually touch your body sleeping on the bed as well. And then at that point, you can start to explore, start to see what people are doing in real time within this realm, because that's typically what you will access in the beginning, which is just things taking place in real time within this realm. Now, for people that don't do this naturally, sleep paralysis naturally, you have to understand the sleep cycles, right? And this is something that I've started to study and implement on myself to do it at will. Is when you understand the sleep cycles, when you're going to sleep, about every 90 minutes, your brain, right? It's typically 90 minutes. It's not exactly on the dot, but typically every 90 minutes, your brain enters deep sleep, delta, right? Now, if you are conscious, if you stay conscious and aware that in that process, when your brainwave is at delta in that 90-minute cycle, if you're consciously aware, you're in sleep paralysis immediately, right? And at that point, you follow all the other steps and then you exit. Now, it's difficult to time the 90 minutes, especially because there's a process that I use for myself, but you have to, a very simple technique, because to explain the methodology on it, it take way too long to do, but a very simple technique to use is when you're going to sleep every single night, sleep on your back, but stay consciously awake the entire time. Don't try to force being conscious, because then you're just going to stay awake. If you're like, okay, I'm consciously awake, I'm not going to fall asleep, there's too much energy there and you're not allowing the body to go to sleep. So you allow the natural cycles of your sleep to just kick in. Just go to sleep, but try to stay conscious the entire time. They'll hit a point typically within 90 minutes. And if you miss that 90 minutes, could be 90 minutes to 3 hours. If you're staying conscious, staying calm, allowing everything to go to sleep, your body will start to shut down. You'll start to feel like someone laid a lead all over your body. The breathing will become very shallow. And when the body starts to shut down, this is where people go into panic, right? Because just when you start to hit the sleep paralysis, you literally feel like everything in your body shutting down, like it's literally dying. But if you get rid of the fear and just let it die, right, you enter sleep paralysis. And if you're calm at that point, pop out. Yeah. That's a simple thing without going into all the details and stuff like that. Because like last time I held a workshop on that was just that alone. Going through all the details, the 3 stages popping out. It's like a 2-hour workshop that I've held on that.
So I hope this video has helped you understand the process a little better. This isn't a perfect explanation. If you want the clearest, most complete understanding, I recommend visiting Darius's website and purchasing the AYDA method for yourself. But if you don't have the funds, or you'd rather follow your own intuition and just gather bits of information where you can, I still hope this video gave you something useful to work with. Thank you for watching.